Hi guys, Spink here. This is episode 16 of Let's Learn Ageod Civil War II, resuming where we left off last episode. Last episode kind of had a bit of odd pacing. I don't know why I thought I couldn't get through all the rest of the movement at the end of that, because it only takes a minute or two. So I just kind of rambled on about stuff. Same thing, I did go and find out. I did have a question about the supply wagons, if you recall, whether we do have these half-strength supply wagons and these full-strength supply wagons, and what we needed to make a depot. And I did some testing, and these half-strength supply wagons with only 2 supply companies cannot make a depot. You need to have 4 of these supply companies in a region to make a depot. So if you did use these, you would have to use 2 of them. So these guys make depots, and the smaller ones are useful only for hauling supply around. Also, as an aside, you can use naval transport units, these riverine transports like we have here. You can actually use these to build depots too. Obviously they would have to only be along the river, and that's something we may do at some point in the future. I don't know. I think where we were at, we'd gone through divisions. We'd formed all our units into our divisions, and we'd done a little bit of movement. I'm going to go through and use the E key now, the E and the R key, to cycle through the units. There actually is 2 sets of these. There's the E and the R key, which cycles through your units, do not have orders, and then there's the Q and the W that cycle through all your units, including those that are fixed. And that just goes on and on and on. And that sentry status that we play with, the Q and the W keys ignore those. So the E and the R is what I use because I don't really want to go looking through all of those fixed units. Okay, this is our units in Connecticut. We built some Connecticut units here. We do have a brigade and a battery that are not done, but we have 3 Connecticut brigades. Let's see if I can move them together. And I'm going to move these down to Washington. We're just going to get a massive force down here in Washington, and then possibly do something else with it. Break off small subunits of that and do our we'll do a coastal invasion here pretty quick. And also it's just kind of my clearinghouse. Bring them all down here and then send them out to where they should go. Alright, that's that one. Next, okay, this is our quick reaction force that popped up in response to the Confederate forces moving up through Kansas here, and that was just very fortuitous, because right before that happened, I built a bunch of units here in Council Bluffs. So I think what we're going to do, we want to have enough of a force down in this area to prevent the Confederacy from doing anything getting farther north. Again, I don't care about these forts so much, but I don't want them taking, Mound City, Lawrence, and especially Leavenworth being a strategic town. So we're gonna start concentrating these forces down in this area. I think it would be of value to bring another general or 2 over, at least one, so that we can form a division and then have one of the units as one of the generals as the force commander. So I'm going to take this Kansas unit, and I'm going to bring him down to Leavenworth. 44 days to march overland, but I think we do have the Missouri River here, so we will use our riverine movement. Knocks us down to 17. Again, this is our depot force here. We'll just skip them. Skip this guy. Burnside's force here in Maryland is basically just a blocking force. He's starting to build up some entrenchment here. We do need to get enough force to him in order to get him having a division here. We'll get Runyon having a division. I thought we already did. Oh, I remember now. The command cost of these two units was 4, so it didn't really gain us anything to do it. But we'll go ahead and do it anyway. Combine those up, 140. Yeah, he didn't move at all. His things stay the same. So we've got 6 elements in this unit, and they're all infantry. So I think we need to get him at least one more infantry brigade and some artillery. So let's go over to our clearinghouse here. Maybe we'll give him one of these really good units. What do we got here? The Excelsior Brigade, because we are needing a little bit of force over there. So I wonder what that little horse icon down there means. Is that a horse? Oh no, it's his hand. Duh, what a bozo. Okay. Do we have any artillery here? We do not have artillery here yet. I need to really get some artillery built up in this area. We're going to move the Excelsior Brigade to Burnside's force, and we are going to move him by rail, get him there. You know, and I think while we're at it, let's give him just one of these normal little New York forces along with it. I'm just going to drag this into this tab of that moving force right here. So now we've got them both moving up there. Burnside, let's stay here, Burnside. He has his supply unit. This is Banks' force. He just has the 2 divisions. Now this supply is not coming through here for whatever reason. Received 100, so we're getting 100 supply. Our military control is 100. The loyalty is not ideal here. I wonder if that has something to do with it. He uses 61 per turn, so he's getting enough. Maybe that's what it is. So we'll just leave him here. Is he in Frederick? Frederick town. So he's not in the town. He's just in the region itself. I think he's okay on supply. I think he's receiving more than he is consuming. So this supply wagon should start coming up on this guy. I do think we're going to need to build more of these supply wagons, because I think each one of our stacks really should have at least one of those supply wagons, especially anything that we plan on moving forward. Something sitting here, you know, in a defensive position maybe doesn't need one. Cavalry. This was our reaction force that popped up the turn before. He is just sitting here in Leavenworth. I think I'm going to see if I can move him down to Mound City in 6 days, and we'll meet up with Asbeth's force here. It's going to be pretty cavalry heavy, but that's alright, because I think primarily what's coming up here is cavalry. This is our supply wagon that we brought back to Baltimore, and they are now fully supplied, and I think I'll just stick those back here in Banks Command with the railroad. We do have the cavalry now that we built up, or that we brought in. We built these several turns ago, our Maryland cavalry. I'm going to take those and stick them directly into McClellan's stack. Use the railroad. What else do we have here? We have some artillery we're building. I'll just combine those, just cuz. And that's it. Oh, something else I had forgotten to do. We got a message that McClellan is now been promoted ahead of everybody else, or is now the commander-in-chief of our forces here. So I'm going to put him in charge of an army, and we will now form the Army of the Potomac here. We don't need to have McDowell in an army here. I am going to sack him, even though it's going to cost us a national morale point and 9 victory points. So he is now just a 3-star general that we can use as a we'll give him 2 divisions and put him somewhere useful, and then eventually next year we'll make him a corps commander in this army. So because we got we made McDowell's force an army. McClellan is now an army. You see, we've lost that that half penalty for our command points. So we could actually throw another couple divisions here without any detriment. So, in fact, we had taken this unit out because of that. So let's put Hooker's force back into the Army of the Potomac. There's no reason to keep him in a separate stack as long as he's going to stay in this same region. And then we do have the option of bringing these guys out, and if we need to send an independent force somewhere. Okay, excuse me. Fremont. Okay, we did get some force down here now. These leaders especially. So we have some artillery, and we have some infantry. I believe Lyon is a little infantry light here. He's got, yeah, just not a lot. Let's take two batteries of artillery and some infantry. How many elements is here? Oh, he's got 15. But that cavalry brigade, that's got quite a bit of force, and I don't think I really want that in a division. So let's see. Are we good? We still don't have supply or enough military control here to bring supply through. The Confederates control this 74%, so we are going to be able to use that railroad. So I think for now we're going to leave Lyon here in Jefferson, Missouri, Jefferson region, to solidify the military control here, and we'll reinforce him with sufficient force for him to form a division. We'll give him a leader to lead that division, and he'll go back to being the force commander. Okay, so what did we have here? Why don't we just divide him back out, because we do have that cavalry brigade, four regiments of cavalry here. This is very strong for a cavalry. I guess it's got 3 regiments and some horse artillery, but I don't want that amount of cavalry in one of my divisions, or certainly not this division. So we've got 3, 6. So I guess we do have plenty of infantry here. Well, maybe not. So we've got 3, 6, 7, 8 infantry and 2 artillery batteries. We've got this 12-pounder Napoleons, and I believe these ones that are in the brigades, I think they're just the old 6-pounders. That's right. So we will take, let's bring 2 artillery batteries with us. We'll kind of give this guy a little bit of a bump. Maybe 2 brigades of infantry, and we'll bring. Let's bring Miles. He's the junior guy here. And we'll put these guys in. We're going to aim for Nathaniel Lyon's stack, 28 days. Let's see if we can get that a little better. We do have a railroad there. 8 days, good. So we're going to be able to railroad those the whole way through. And while we're here, let's go back to Lyon stack. I'm going to take this cavalry brigade here out of this stack now, and I'm going to put him down here in Vienna, Missouri, and use this force to increase our military control of this, so that we'll be able to move supply through here to Jefferson, because we don't actually have a supply. Well, I guess this is good enough, but this one isn't, to get supply out here. But I do want to get the military control of this much more so to our side. The loyalty is only 50-50, which we're just going to have to deal with. You know, we're heading south now. All right, what is next? Let's see. We have, okay, this is the additional force we sent from St. Louis to help garrison our depot here. Now we've got 3 regiments here, and that's gonna oh, look at this one here, has some experience, and he's got slightly better combat power now. Let's see what other stats he has that might be improved. He can have 64 as his maximum cohesion, whereas this guy, he's still at 64 as well, I guess. Look at the combat tab. Oh, his assault value right here has gone up to a 7 from a 6. Mobility. His patrol value increased. And his evasion value increased. So, what we can expect, I think, as our units gain experience, his police value went up. As these units gain experience, they're going to their stats are going to go up. And I think what goes on with that's with our experience. I was reading a little bit on the wiki from the previous incarnation of this game, and it does indicate that as we engage in combat and destroy units, our experience level goes up, and when it does, we'll get these stars. I think we talked about that before. Something else that we can do with these little militia brigades is just kind of like the division thing, is we can combine 2 of them. Because apparently 2 is the maximum size. I don't think we can add another one in there. No, we can't. And you can do the same thing if you have a unit that is missing one of its regiments and you have another unit that is just that regiment it needs. You can combine them to do that. Okay, let's quit jabbering and get going here. Let's see, we got our rail line was completed here. Okay, we made him a division. He has 1 infantry brigade and some artillery. Let's bring some more of this infantry into him. He's now up to 14, so he can do 4 more. These are all 3s. So now we have Hurlbut commanding this force. With these extra units here, his command rating is still going to be pretty bad. But I don't think that matters. We're not going anywhere. What's the weather looking like? Did we look at that already? Yeah, it was good weather. We could advance down here to the river outside of Bowling Green here, and that's not a bad move. But I think we're going to stay back here, especially since winter's coming up. We're going to want to make sure all of our forces are in a region that has a town or a fort or something to protect us from the weather. Another thing that protects you from the weather is having supply wagons, because that will allow you to trade supply hits for the actual attrition hits that you would otherwise be taking. So all of our units need to either be in a structure or have a supply wagon with them. Butler's force, Beauregard's not too tough on us here. Let's see if we can assault Williamsburg here and take that. Back here, let's see if we can combine some of this stuff that we've brought down here. Volunteers, Michigan Volunteers, Union Detachment. That's some cavalry we're building. Oh, let's go ahead and stick them in there too. Ohio Squadron, Transport Squadron, 3rd Fleet. Oh, I think we were maybe building up some resupplying that force, perhaps. Okay, so what do we have here? We have Grant has taken a division down here. Let's see if we can build another division for him. We'll give it to Wallace this time. Might as well just give him all of these troops. It gives him 12. We could use some more artillery. Don't really want to pull this division out of here just yet, because we have a garrison here, but I would like to maybe we will take him across the river. I don't know. I think we'll just leave him here. Did we give any? Oh, Grant does not have any supply, so let's take one of these supply wagons across to Grant. We'll use the river transport to get him over there for him. We'll need to garrison Paducah here. Maybe we'll just leave it as we got here. Or Did we have that other militia unit? What did we do with him? Right here. Let's send that over to Garrison Paducah. Although that's taken him out of his home state. That's not a problem. With the militia units, each of them has their home state on them, and they do receive a morale bonus when fighting in their home state, but that doesn't mean we can't move them out. Let's see what we got next. Should we send him down to take Columbus as well? It's possible that they might try to come behind us and take Paducah, but it's not an objective city or a strategic city. So there's probably no particular reason for them to do that. Our supply, we're not getting any supply through here yet. It is a port, so we should be able to use our riverine supply here and get supply brought through there. Grant is full supply. Maybe we'll do that. We'll try to take Columbus with him, and then let his supply kind of catch up with him. But that will give him this a port here, so we'll be able to bring supply directly to him. So I think we'll be okay with that. We'll keep him on his offensive thing there, and we'll be able to regain kind of some control in this area. Carson's brigade. Still just going to leave them here. Okay, this force we'd already looked at. We're going to attack this unit and wipe them out. And while we're at it, let's take our 3 supply wagons and start sending those south. Whoops, not you, young man. You're going to stay here. So it's going to take us 20 days to get down here to Fort Yuma. Fort Yuma is where we were going to make that our first depot. So we'll let the supply wagons get a one turn of a jump on things, so they can get down here and start doing stuff while Carleton takes care of this little nuisance here. Carson, we're still just sitting here eating up the food. I'm not sure what I want to do with these guys. Even if I just retreat them, I don't think they're going to have any supply, any better situation. Well, potentially we can be doing better with supply back here, and back here especially, but I don't really want to retreat them just yet. Once our supply gets a little lower, then we'll start falling back. I'd rather not give up any cities, but it doesn't really matter a great deal. Okay, we'll just not worry about. Burnside we've covered. Banks we've covered. Contrabands, nothing for them to do, so we'll just sit those there. Humphreys, we're going to need to get him a little more power here. We'll go back to our Washington force, McDowell's command. What do you got here? We've got just a small. Let's give him a brigade or two, maybe. Give him a couple brigades of this infantry here. Whoops, we took. I keep doing that. Taking the commander with him. Do we have any artillery? We do not have artillery here. We have 1 building in Connecticut, 1 in Wisconsin, 2 in Kentucky, only 1 in the really 2 coming up through the in the Eastern Theater. So we're gonna have to get some more artillery coming through here. Stone, I'm just gonna leave him here too. He could use some artillery. Blinker, now he is not under cover. Whoops, what did we do? Oh, we brought more force for him. That's what this is. Eventually, when the winter hits, he's going to have to fall back to Parkersburg for the cover. So we might as well just do that now. He's not, we're not in any imminent danger of having a Confederate unit come roaring through there. The army here. This is still just going to sit here as a gather up everything force. We have a regular brigade. Throw those into McDowell. I guess I missed them last time through. Scott is still hanging. There's our main force here. What do we know about this area? Looks like they have a strength of about 200, a little over 200. So potentially we could go through and just stomp them. The weather's good. I don't think that McClellan is likely to go with a offensive posture, but let's give it a shot. Let's see what you got there, McClellan. We're going to put him on offensive, and we're going to move him into Manassas. And I believe what happens is if he fails to activate, he won't be allowed to have the offensive posture, and also he'll have a 35% movement and command penalty. So he might just stay here and not move in here. He might move in here and stay on a defense. I'm not really sure what that all is going to entail here. I wonder. No, we'll just leave him like that. I would like to take Falmouth and go out and clear the south bank of the Potomac here, but we'll do that a little later. All right, next, Fremont. We might as well start making this unit another division. A small division here. I don't really want to put cavalry. I don't like to put cavalry in these divisions for some reason. I like to keep them out in the stack, but I don't know if that's if there's anything to that. Kentucky Volunteers. Okay, this is the unit that repaired the railroad here. So now we can bring those back to the main force here. We'll railroad them. We've got plenty of capacity. We probably need a little bit more force out here in Lexington. It is an objective, or at least a strategic town. So potentially we could see some Confederate troops coming out through there. So we do have a garrison here of a single militia brigade, but we're probably going to want to have at least a few brigades here, a little bit better force. Okay, here's our cavalry. Now we are out of supply with this cavalry unit. We'll get them back to Lexington. So we may actually take some hits for being out of supply here. So that was probably a miscalculation on my part. I thought I kind of had one more turn of wiggle room, but we'll see what that does. Hurlbut's force, I think we're just going to stay here, start building up. We definitely need some artillery here. We've just got the one battery. Okay, Ben Butler, we've covered him. Carson Milroy, he's just going to sit here and recover. Maybe build up some more of his force here. This is West Virginia Defense. We're going to stick those directly in the Clarksburg here. That's going to be its garrison, and we're going to put those on, permanent sentry. So we don't have to look at them anymore. Fremont we've covered. Lyon. We might as well put these guys back in. Put his division back together for now. These guys. Okay, so that's all our movement, the rest of our movement. Transports, we're just going to keep there. We have a gunboat squadron here. I think I'm going to combine this with Foote's unit here. This is our blockade force. Starting to take a little bit of, or did we have them cohesion hits? I think these are our new cohesion hits. Blockading again. Now what happened? Why are we not showing our blockade? This requires one naval element to blockade the zone. I don't know. Gonna have to do some more study in blockade, that's for sure. This other force is sitting here in Jamestown. Might as well leave those on this. Why don't we see if we can actually go blockade something else? Something of some value. That's just a level 2 town. Wilmington. What is Wilmington got here? Let's look at his. It exits to Middle Cape Fear. Middle Cape Fear River. So if we would have to come down here to where Fort Fisher is to blockade that, and I think if we did that, we would have the forts. I think the forts are Bogue Inlet, Thompson Inlet, Bogue Inlet. We could come blockade Beaufort, but it's hardly worth it. It's a little bitty. I think we'll just leave these guys here for now, and we'll look at doing building up a force to have a naval invasion somewhere. Here's our squadron here that we're trying to get built back up to full strength. He is in Fort Monroe. Fort Monroe has a depot. Okay, so he should get reinforced. The Portsmouth. Let's stick him in with that. Looks like an old frigate. What are these? Yeah, these are old frigates. Not even steam powered. Okay. Foote, his ammo isn't great, but it's not horrible. He's taken some cohesion hits. We'll leave him here for one more turn. Let that other gunboat squadron join up with him. We also need to be building more ironclads, so we're just kind of got more stuff to build than have resources to build them. This guy's supply is starting to go down. Maybe we should bring some transport out here to reload those guys. Merchant ships here. These two are just hanging out in Fort Pickens. Falmouth Beach. Let's go scoot over there again, see if we can maybe intercept that dude. Blockade flotilla. Blockade flotilla is starting to take some cohesion hits now. So we're gonna have to think about getting those reinforced. Or yep, that guy. Farragut. Yeah, I still haven't done anything with him. The Monitor is 6 turns away. Transfers. Okay, so that's all of the rest of our movement, and I've managed to fill up another half hour just with that. So maybe putting off the movement till this episode was maybe not as stupid as I thought. We need to do our production and our decisions, and then we'll run the turn, but we'll save that for next episode. So I will see you later.